GDP, and is mostly used to measure as the economic growth of a country. And what should I say? If your economic growth is strong, you literally attract foreign direct investment, which make your country more stable, more substantially growing toward business. You can simply take this chart because GDP is a long process. You can judge it around 8 to 10 years, and we can simply take it like China, which is the second booming economy at the moment. You can take it as a first as well. I don't mind at all, but we have to compare all around the world. China didn't become a second largest economy just in strength, but it takes time. And we can simply show the figure from 1980 to 2000 and now 2009, which I'll call the latest figure here. But it will simply tell you how the company can grow. No wonder China leading all around the world. Even if we take America as a superpower, but I take China as a more productive, because even American product is producing in China. You can't find anything apart made in China. And my colleague Rifat, she's gonna take our second indicator as a globalization.
I am going to present globalization. Globalization increase the foreign direct investment, advance in globalization is basically an increased linkage and interdependence of modern world through exchange of information, people, capital, service, and goods. Now I am going to explain reason for going global. Globalization increase the foreign direct investment, advance in technology, online banking, information system development, reduce costs attached to international transactions, survival of the company, available of raw materials, cheap labor, taxation.
You can basically take all these things as a trigger of transformation as well, because these are the things which making a country to move as a globalization. Advancement in technology. Now in a modern age, we all having like a proper communication system. Even you don't need to be there physically to do this transaction. All sort of transaction, your bank gonna handle it. When you're talking about survival of a company, obviously company thinking it's all perspective for future as well. And if they think they are good enough to transform themselves from small company to big company, always they think it globally and produce their stuff to go global. And one of the major things to go global is a cheap labor. Every company want to take their costs down, and this is the main thing which take them toward there.
Now Mr. Rizwan will take over to continue with this topic. Mr. Rizwan.
Thank you. I'm going to take forward the transformation. Transformation is a process of profound and radical change that orients an organization in a new direction and takes it to an entirely different level of effectiveness. Now we can say why the transformation is important. Transformation is basically important for the company to survive as a company in the local market, in the global market. And then one is survival and the second one is a competition. The company has to transform according to the way as the other companies are transforming themselves, because we want to stay in the market and we want to compete. The next step, we're gonna discuss the advantages and disadvantages of globalization. The advantages are the very basic and very interesting one. They are, the first one are the reduction in cultural barriers. The second one is reduction of barriers to the trade. The reductions of barriers to the trade are like the trade can be done easily. Before there was like the countries without the globalization, there was like custom laws, rules, and strict custom laws, rules, and regulation, which the companies have to go through. With globalization, these countries, they have to ease their laws of trade, and the next one is ease in movement of goods and services. Obviously, when there's everything is going localized, there would be better infrastructure, better way of transportation, which can help the goods and services to be transported very, very easily.
Smile, please.
We can look at some of the disadvantages. The disadvantages, the main part, the decrease in environmental integrity as polluting corporations take advantage of free regulatory rules in developing nations. Like we're in the UK, there are strict laws to protect the environment from the pollution. Like say
Wallah.
in the leather industry, it produces vast waste which is contaminated, and the companies in the UK they will have to produce extra cost to decrease this contamination. But they can take the advantage of globalization while they can transfer their plant to some developing country. They are they are flexible laws to protect the environment, and it will destroy obviously their natural beauty and etc. Also, greater risk of disease being transported unintentionally between the nations. Like we can take the example of swine flu, bird flu, which was basically originated in China, and they took the whole world in their grasp. I'll finish and I'll call my colleague Afsal.
Thank you very much. As my group fellows have already discussed about globalization, transformation, and economic growth, these themes are directly or indirectly related to the economic growth. Yeah.
Now I'll hand over to my colleague Osama.
I'm just keep continue which Ms. Noor told you about the economic growth and transformation. Actually, now I'm going to end this discussion with the conclusion. Is we have the figure of 2007. In the top most highest economies are in the number one on United States, Japan, and Germany. But the pointy thing is like that, the China is on the fourth and India is on the last. But because of this globalization and growing the economy of these countries, because of globalization, China made some legislation and opened the doors for the investors. Because of that, the HP and other companies moved towards their manufacturing plants to the China, and it affects on the Chinese economy, and they are in the future aspect. The people are estimating that in 2050, the China will be the most powerful economy on the world. And you can see the India on the second number because of these legislations in their, for the investors, in their political stability and regulatory quality rules regulation through which you can attract the investor to your country. These are the factors. We can't ignore the economic growth of the country. Sometimes they can be attract the major cause of, because here we have example, many people that belong to Pakistan, but nobody want to be invest any money or FDI in Pakistan because of political instability. And the advantage on that, people look on the growing economies, which are growing, and the growth rate. Growth rate, we can consider the political stability, rule of law, the efficiency of enhancements like Higher Education Commission and the other things, how much the effectiveness of government is the more important factor which can attract the investor to your country. You can say that it can be the cause of the sense of security. If they are investing something in that country, how much they are secure. These are the things, because we can conclude that in the end, globalization, transformation, the economic growth is a push, attracts the investors. When companies think about to transform the economic growth attracts the investor to this country or that country. So in the end, economic growth and the transformation have relation. As I explain all these things, in the future, the globalization, the China and India took edge of this growing edge of globalization. So in the past, we have a look in the half a century before. Just the GDP depends upon the growing nation. For example, productivity of country. If any country producing the raw material, they can higher the growth rate. But now, here we took the example of Dubai. It's not producing anything, but they have the trade point. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.